So this is the part two of growing up. So after high school, I went straight into the Army. I was a mechanic. I worked on big rig diesels and little Chevy Blazers and mostly diesel mechanic. But I worked on Chevys and Dodges and trailers and all kinds of stuff. And mechanic. I enjoyed it, but after 5.5 years of that, I got really greased. I hated the greasy part of it, and I just didn't want to be a mechanic anymore, even though I was pretty good at it. And while I was in the Army, I got guaranteed Germany. I wanted to go to Germany first, and so I went there and had a blast. Me and my friends, drank a lot, went to a lot of bars, a lot of clubs, also went to castles and museums. And one really fun memory was going to Berlin. Here's another time when I wasn't thinking very clearly, but we didn't get permission to leave. You can't go more than 50 miles from the base without permission. Anytime. That's the military, how it is. And we rented a VW bus from a rental place off base. And we just took off. It was like a 3-day weekend for some holiday, and we just took off for Berlin. And it was several hundred, a few hundred miles away. And I mean, we would have gotten so much trouble if we got caught. But that's what we did. And we had so much fun in Berlin. And back then, the wall had just come down like a year and a half earlier, and so there were still Russian soldiers in the eastern side. And so we got to see them, and they wanted to trade cigarettes with us. And my friends got pictures with their arms around them, and I got the big Russian hat and the big trench coat and all that fun stuff. And it was a super fun trip, and we got back and we didn't get busted, and so it was really fun. And 3 years in Germany, and then 2.5 years in Colorado Springs, Colorado, Fort Carson, and had a great time there with my friends. I loved the military. I didn't like the military life, but I loved freedom of the military and just going and doing stuff. Went camping a lot. Did a lot of solo backpacking, like 4-day trips into the mountains by myself. No cell phone. There were no cell phones back then. Just myself and a map, and just hiked into the mountains. And that was really fun. A little scary. At the end of one of the trips, I got Giardia. It was before the pumps were really popular, and they were super expensive, the ceramic pumps. So I was using the tablets to purify my water. And at the end of the trip, I got Giardia really bad, and luckily it hit me when I got back to base, and I nearly died because I had asthma. In the military, I had asthma from my drinking and the way I ate, and my health and nutrition brought it on really bad, and I nearly died in the hospital from that. And so that was pretty scary. You know when the doctor tells you, we're not going to let you die, like in the really stern, like really means it. I was like, that's not what I want to hear. I wanted to hear, whatever, you're good. But that's not what I heard. I'm not going to let you die. And so I got out of the military and moved to Texas with a friend, and had a great time in Texas again. Went to college in Texas, and that was fun. Lots of different jobs. I've done a ton of different jobs, and I've enjoyed most all of them. And so that's kind of where I've been. And then from Texas, and then now I'm in my late 20s, so that can probably stop there. But had a really fun college in my 20s, and got the college paid for with the GI Bill, and so that was great. I didn't have to put any money into it. A side note, I had 1 semester left to finish college, and I ran out of my GI Bill, and I was like, I'm not paying for this anymore, because I knew I wouldn't use my degree in the real life. It was a nutrition counseling major, so I quit without finishing and getting my degree, because I knew I'd never use it again. So that's that, and I kicked my asthma with getting off the medication, getting off wheat, dairy, red meats, alcohol, and after a year of not doing any of that, my asthma went away, and then I kind of started drinking and was a little healthier, but my asthma never came back. I stayed healthy enough. So, all right, everybody, there you go. There's me up into adults, And that's kind of where I got to where I am today. I've always been a little bit of a rule breaker and not really fitting in, and that's just how I am. Bye, everybody.